Hey everyone, welcome to Gateway Motorsports Park. We're here for the data pack in the NASCAR iRacing Class C Fix Series. We're racing the number 22 Virtual Racing School Chevrolet around Gateway now, and I'm going to take you for a 50 lap run here. And there's a lot of unique characteristics about Gateway that we have to take into consideration before we get into a race, and one of those things is actually the access road right here. Not many tracks have access roads, but this one dumps you right out onto the backstretch, so you don't have to worry about people merging too soon. And there's actually an access road to get into the pits too. As we come through 3 and 4, I'm going to run the high side and try to get a bigger run as possible towards the line. This lap doesn't count, so for our first time lap. And in 1 and 2, you're going to notice that I'm actually going to shift. We get back down into the turn, and then I shift. Down into third gear, we get back to the gas as soon as we possibly can, pretty hard, and then back to fourth gear. These turns are not symmetrical, so in turns 3 and 4, I'm actually not going to shift. I'm just going to run the bottom, try to get back to the gas as soon as I can, and you can actually hold more speed through there, so I don't have to shift. I was able to do a 34.6, not bad, but there's still a couple tenths out there, and you can definitely go a little faster. As we come to take lap 15 here, notice off turn 2, as I go through 1 and 2, notice off 2, as I get back to the gas, the car or the truck can have a tendency to step out a little bit if I'm not careful with the throttle. So see, I'm pretty careful with the throttle here, but see that little edginess right there? That can just really start to kill your lap times as the tires begin to wear and heat up more. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. It's still faster to dip down into third gear and get that good run off, but you just have to be very careful, otherwise you'll start to spin the rear tires too much and it'll end up being slower actually. As we come to take lap 30 here, you'll notice 1 and 2 that has very interesting transition into turn 1. The banking drops off very suddenly, and it has a little bit more banking than 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is a little flatter, and this turn is actually pretty deceiving. 1 and 2, where you feel like you can get back to the throttle a lot faster, because 3 and 4 you can, but it's just a tighter turn overall. So 3 and 4, obviously it's a lot longer, a lot more sweeping, and it's a lot harder to set somebody up off turn 4 just because it's a lot easier than 1 and 2. You can definitely get position though on somebody in 1 and 2. If you hit your marks as far as your shifting marks and your braking points and where you get back to the throttle. If you do all that right, you'll have a good shot at getting position down the backstretch. 2 laps to go in this run, and you'll notice the shadow down the front stretch here. Make sure to get your right side tires in that shadow. It'll help cool off your tires and make you run some faster lap times. That shadow doesn't exist down the backstretch here, and as you can see, the truck's a little bit loose off too. Nothing too unmanageable, but definitely starting to feel that right rear going away a little bit. Overall, the setup's pretty good. It feels a little tight through 3 and 4. It's hard to get back to the throttle through the center, but taking our last time lapped here, lap 50. And this is going to be a long race. There's actually going to be plenty of time to overcome a bad qualifying effort. So if you do happen to have a bad qualifying run, don't worry about it. You got time. 50 laps and 36 seconds every lap. As we come through 3 and 4 here, I've tried shifting a few times through here, but it's just not really worth it. And you kind of have to short shift to make it work off turn 4, so it's really not worth it. Don't really mess around with that too much. Some people might be able to be okay fast with it, but nothing to the extent of just shifting through 1 and 2. So that's my last lap of the run, and I did a 36:12. So a little bit more than 2 seconds of fall off, or I'm sorry, not 2 seconds. Less than 2 seconds of fall off. So we use the access road right here, and if I'm not mistaken, you need to use this. Yeah, because right here you can't cross in at this last second. I'm pretty sure you need to use that access road. So keep that in mind, and hope you guys learned a lot, and thank you again for tuning in. Looking forward to next week, and maybe I'll see you in some of these races. Hope it goes well, and we'll see you next time.